This is the World News at 6 on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. My name is Chioma Innocent, and here are the top stories. President Tinubu directs NNPCL to sell crude to Dangote refinery in Naira. NCC orders immediate reactivation of all blocked lines. APC vows to resist plans to topple Tinubu's government. And soldiers take over Enugu airport ahead of hunger protest. Details shortly. Thank you for staying with us. The news at 6 begins with President Bola Tinubu directing the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) to sell crude to Dangote refinery and other upcoming refineries in Naira. The special advisor to the president on information and publicity, Bayo Ononuga, made this known in a post via his official X handle today. Ononuga stated that the move, which is to ensure the stability of the pump price of refined fuel and the dollar to naira exchange rate, was adopted by the Federal Executive Council today. Dangote refinery at the moment requires 15 cargoes of crude at a cost of $13.5 billion yearly. The NNPC has committed to supplying 4. However, the FEC has approved that the 450,000 barrels meant for domestic consumption be offered in naira to Nigerian refineries using the Dangote refinery as a pilot. The statement added that the exchange rate will be fixed for the duration of these transactions. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) has directed telecommunications operators to immediately restore all blocked phone lines due to non-linkage of national identification numbers (NINs) to SIM cards. This directive was disclosed in a statement today by the Director of Media and Public Affairs, Ruben Mwoka. The telecom industry regulator explained that this directive was in response to the widespread disruption caused by the blockages and to prioritize consumer convenience. Over the weekend, many telecom subscribers were unable to access their phone lines after failing to verify their NINs with their SIM cards, resulting in the numbers being blocked in compliance with the NIN SIM linkage regulations. This development led to massive outrage today as subscribers stormed MTN offices across the country, demanding the reactivation of their blocked phone lines. In the meantime, the All Progressives Congress (APC) has said the party would not fold hands and watch President Bola Tinubu's government toppled before the 2027 general elections. Chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) across the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) said they have strong intelligence that the planned August protest was orchestrated to oust President Tinubu. Addressing newsmen at the APC National Secretariat today in Abuja, the chairman of Cross River State Chapter and secretary of the APC State Chairman Forum, Alphonsus Oga Eba, said the ruling party would organize party supporters across the nation to hold solidarity rallies across the country. The APC chairman called on Nigerians across all political parties to join the party in its support rally for President Tinubu's administration. The APC also claimed that security intelligence further showed that some hoodlums plan to hijack the protest. In a recent development, soldiers have taken over the Akano Ibiam International Airport in Enugu State and other strategic points ahead of the August 1 nationwide hunger protest. This is coming as Ahaneze Ndigbo Youth Wing declared that Igbo youths will not participate in the protest, which is scheduled for August 1 to 10. However, VOP News observed heavy movement of military personnel, especially those of the Nigerian Army in the Enugu metropolis. At the Akano Ibiam International Airport junction along the old Abakaliki Emene Road, several military personnel were seen stationed with weapons. Also at the Abakpa junction and New Heaven junction along the Enugu Abakaliki Road, an armored personnel carrier was seen mounted with surveillance cameras. In the meantime, protesters have blocked Kaduna Road, the highway in Niger State linking Kaduna to Abuja. This comes just 3 days before the planned 10-day nationwide protest by some groups to demand an improvement in Nigeria's economic situation. The protesters appeared unwilling to wait till Thursday as they chanted anti-government slogans. The organizers of the nationwide protest want an improvement in the cost of living and a reversal of some government policies, particularly the removal of petrol subsidies. You are currently listening to the World News at 6 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We'll take a short break and be back with the news analysis segment. Do stay with us. Well, now joining me to discuss issues on the world news at 6 this evening, I have legal luminary, political and national affairs analyst, Barrister Fred Nzako. Welcome to the world news at 6, Barrister. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Good evening to our dear listeners.
Good evening to you, and I hope you've had a good day so far. So, I want to begin with the president directing the NNPC to sell crude oil to Dangote refinery and other local refineries in Naira. Now, this was adopted by the Federal Executive Council today. The NNPC has committed to supply 4 out of the 15 cargoes of crude required by Dangote refinery yearly. Should we be happy about this development, seeing the back and forth that's been happening between oil marketers, the NUPRC, the NMDPRA, NNPC, and Dangote recently?
Yes, it is a good development. It is very commendable. The intervention of Mr. President, it is to the best interest of all Nigerians, and it is important to underscore the fact that it is not only for Dangote refinery alone. All other domestic refineries will have to buy their crude in Naira. It will also help our economy because it will help to ease the stress and the tension on the value of the Naira, because one of the major factors that push up Naira value on the demand pool side is the need to get foreign exchange for importation of petroleum products. So if this is done, and it will help to ease off that tension and that stress. Any other thing that can be done in Naira, there's no need doing them and exchanging them in foreign currency. Naira is our denomination. Naira is our currency, and the products, especially the products, are sourced in Nigeria and should be sold to Nigerians in Naira. After all, by the time they complete their blending and the products start coming out from the crude, they should equally be sold to Nigerians in Naira, apart from the ones they should export. Because actually Nigeria should be targeting export, at least to, even if we don't export to Europe and America, we should be exporting to other African countries. I mean, with the refined petroleum products that will come out of our main refineries led by Dangote refinery. It will also encourage other modular refineries and all other refineries, private refineries that are springing up across the country to continue with their investment, knowing fully well that the challenge of crude supply has been taken care of by the government. I think it's a good one. It's good for both refineries. It's a win-win situation for both the refinery operators and owners, and also for the government and Nigerian economy.
Talking about local refineries in the country, how many is really working, right? And let's also talk about the fact that there's been conversations around that most of the crude oil that Nigeria is getting right now have to be given out because of the loans that the country has already received in order to give this crude. So where exactly are they going to get the crude that they will sell to Dangote and other local refineries?
Yes, it is true that a lot of the crude production has been mortgaged upfront and tied to loans that have amounted to this humongous 132 trillion naira loan, and we are not yet seeing the effect and the impact of such loans. Meanwhile, the crude has been mortgaged upfront, but it is not everything that has been mortgaged. Whatever that is left should be sold locally, and it will also encourage government to block all the leakages. At least if we can block 70% of crude leakages, we should be doing very well as a country. All this fear of not having adequate crude supply will be eliminated, because statistics have shown that almost 50% of what is produced is stolen. So who is doing who? We are the ones undermining our economy, collaborating and colluding with outsiders to kill our economy and steal our crude. What is going on in Nigerian crude industry is a typical case of the rat at home telling the rat in the bush that there is fish in the fireplace. And both rats will now collude to go and eat the fish of the owner. And at the end of the day, the members of the family of the owner will bear the brunt. Well, let us drive away both the rat in the bush and the rat at home, and you will see that Nigeria's quantum of crude supply will jump to a very reasonable leap. Government has said that currently we are producing about between 1.4 and 1.5 million barrels per day, but we have the capacity to produce up to double of that, which is at least 2.8 to 3 million barrels a day. Why wouldn't we drive towards that end and ensure that we are not only making more money for the crude sales, but we have enough to feed the local refineries that are here. Apart from the four near comatose refineries owned by the NNPC, Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna, there are other private refineries that are coming on stream, and one of their challenges has been this fear of a crude supply. And when Dangote cried out, the others started catching cold because they felt that if Dangote could be treated in this manner, then maybe
how about them? Dangote himself has said he's had to source his crude from Libya and Angola because of this same issue of mortgaging crude for loans, which is why again I ask, this crude they've said they want to sell to Dangote in Naira, as commendable as these, where are they going to get it from if all of the even the ones that have not been harvested from the grounds already spoken for?
The crude is there. Let them block the stealing. It's as simple as that. The government has the capacity to block the stealing. Look, there is no organ in any environment that is as strong as government. None. Because government knows everything and government has the capacity to do virtually everything. So it's only when there is lack of political will and lack of sincerity and honesty of purpose that you begin to hear and see that the government is hamstrung. There's nothing can tie the hands of government. Government should be able to block and stop those who are stealing the crude and have enough for domestic consumption and for export.
All right.
It's as simple as that.
All right. We're talking about what the government should do. What about government agencies? Why does it always have to take the presidency wading into issues before government agencies do what they're supposed to do? Should it actually come as a directive from the president before the NNPC will know that they ought to sell crude to Dangote refinery, and secondly in Naira? Right? We've had talks of, people are dollarizing the economy and that's why the country is the way it is. Why should it now be government agencies who now sell in another currency that's not Nigerian's currency? Why does it always have to take the president wading into issues for government agencies will do what they're supposed to do, or before there will be a calm?
You see, the challenge is that there is this old adage that says that the guilty are afraid. A guilty man or a guilty conscience is afraid of even his shadows. These government agencies, because they know that their cupboards are full of skeletons, built by corruption, they lack the temerity, they lack the capacity, they lack the honest purpose to take actions and decisions that will be far-reaching. They will instead be meandering and be waiting for Mr. President to give instructions. And that is why we keep saying that we need strong institutions and not strong personalities. If the institutions of government are strong, most of the issues will be straightened up, and then you don't need to have anybody. They will be running seamlessly without anybody coming to breathe hard on the institution to wake it up. It's very shameful that an organ of government like NNPC that has been given the big responsibility of managing our crude oil resources is found wanting in so many fronts, to the extent that the only thing that NNPC is noted with is opaqueness, corruption, inefficiency, and all manner of vices. But I think they should grow above those narratives and begin to deliver on their responsibilities.
All right then. Thank you so much, Barrister Fred Nzako. Let's move on from this particular topic and talk about the protest which has been gaining more and more momentum. So many telecom subscribers suffered the blockage of the lines yesterday, including those who have linked their NINs to their SIM cards. And many people, notably Showore of the African Action Congress, has come out to say that this is a strategy to occupy people with other things and stop them from protesting. Before we proceed, before I get your response to this question, I want to play a clip from protesters who blocked the major roads, major highways leading to Abuja today. And I need you to just give me a minute to just play this and let me know if you can hear it.
That's all right.
Barrister Fred Nzako, can you hear this?
Yes,
Yes, Barrister Fred Nzako, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I didn't hear the clip you played.
All right. I have to pause it because this person is speaking in Hausa language, and of course, we do not have an interpreter at the moment, right? But what I will try to do is, this video has subtitles, and I will try to read out the subtitle. This person says, "My name is Mohammed Kabir Babandoki. They have increased the fuel prices and made life difficult for us. We came out for protest, but the police is not allowing us to do our thing." And that is not just the only thing. He goes on to say, some people came out yesterday to protest and they were not stopped, but we are stopped. As law-abiding citizens, we will return home and wait until Thursday. These are the people who blocked a road, a major road, a highway in Niger State, which links Kaduna to Abuja. In Lagos Island today, there were people protesting and blocking major roads, which people were using to go about their daily business. These people were protesting against the protest, which is to happen on Thursday. And as many citizens pointed out on social media, security agents looked the other way. The same thing is happening in Abuja. Security agents are looking the other way. Everyone is gearing up for Thursday. Would you say that already, because of the panic and because of all the efforts being put in place to try and stop that protest, that it's already achieving its desired effect?
Well, let's start from the issue of the telecom companies that people are beginning to insinuate that the challenge, the hiccup they are having is because they don't want people to communicate freely during the protest. But I personally think it goes beyond that. Possibly, if you went there, you have an environment where the leaders and the citizens are not on the same page. There is always mutual suspicion. Any move made by the leaders will be immediately suspected with sinister motives, to have a sinister motive by the citizens. And it doesn't go well for the development of any country. And that is exactly what we are seeing in Nigeria. Even when there are technical hitches in the telecoms, people will very easily feel that it is because of the forthcoming protest. There was also this conspiracy theory that the scarcity of petroleum products across the land is because the government want to cripple the people so that they don't move around. But when you look at all of this, you see that there is not enough convincing truth in those assertions. There could be issues, but because it is coming about this time, if anybody even hears the screeching of the tire on the road, the person will suspect that something is going wrong. If there is any explosion of a tire, ordinarily a moving tire, people will feel it is a bomb that is detonating. And that is not good for Nigeria. It will go ahead to keep people under intense trepidation, intense fear, which is not healthy for the health of the citizens. Then for those who have started the protest earlier than said, earlier than announced, earlier than the D-Day, it gives the impression that they are in a hurry to hit the streets. But let me very quickly warn all Nigerians. Yes, I am for protest, but I am for civil protest, not anyone that will be so irresponsibly conducted, where you go and block road, destroy properties, destroy assets. Any untoward thing that we do will tell on us. Nobody should imitate Kenya. Nobody should tell me about Kenya. The Kenyans have seen the folly in their actions. They were stupid.
But one could argue that it actually achieved the desired effect, because that tax bill that caused the problem was redacted.
It did not achieve anything. Yes, their president denounced the finance bill, but did it solve their problem? It does not. There is no way destruction or violence will solve any problem. The Nigerians must learn and know this. Yes, any protest that will give you the desired result is the one done civilly, with all respect for human rights, with all respect for properties of individuals and government, and with all respect for one another, knowing that when we say government is an agglomeration of all of us. Nobody is a government. Some may be in government today, tomorrow they are out of government. So when you say government, everybody is involved in government. It's either you are an operator in government, or you voted to put those operators, or you did not vote, thereby you allow those to vote to to put those operators. So whether you agree or not, you are part and parcel of the government.
So you do not agree that the telecom operators, the issue that people are experiencing right now was in a bid to occupy people with other things so that they don't go out to protest?
I do not think so. And even when the NCC had asked them to release all the lines that were not linked, what it simply means is that even the NCC, the rating agency, is even suspicious that they may have scrambled their system so that people will not have free communication.
You know, one would wonder why they actually started blocking lines from yesterday when the latest deadline for people to link their SIM was on July 31, which is on the eve of that protest. So why not wait until then? But because of our time, I want to move on to soldiers have taken over Enugu Airport. You know, one can say is ahead of the hunger protest. They have taken over the airport, wielding weapons, and just having their show of force, show of power, in case people want to go ahead and block that airport. With all of this, one would wonder, and everything that the protesters are asking of, some people have released several different points, about 25 different points that they want the government to meet, and some people are also asking for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Apart from that.
Yes, is there any report that any other airport in Nigeria is being protected by the soldiers? Is it only Enugu Airport? Because if it's only Enugu Airport, I can tell you that the soldiers are there wasting their time. A typical Igbo man is not interested in this protest. I say this advisedly because I know it. Igbo man is not interested in this protest. Those who have said releasing Nnamdi Kanu and attach it to the protest, they are not representing the voice of the Igbos. The release of Nnamdi Kanu has nothing to do with this protest. But the protesters now just coined that one and inserted it in their demand, which of course, if you look at the whole gamut of their demand, the 15 of them, almost only about 2 or 3 make meaning. The rest are just sheer impossibility that you will wonder whether the people who are making such demands have actually talked to themselves or addressed the issues. If you don't address the issues in a manner that you will get results, then it goes to no issue. The release of Nnamdi Kanu is not one of the demands of meaningful and reasonable people. The Igbos who are asking that their son be released are going about it in most civil manner, approaching the government, presenting their issues with logic and reasoning, and nobody has gone on protest. Those who are saying releasing Nnamdi Kanu are not Igbos, and they don't also represent the interest of Nnamdi Kanu.
So you feel they have an ulterior motive for including that as their demand?
That is why they have an ulterior motive, without being told. And that is why the soldiers have now gone to occupy Enugu Airport. I tell you that the soldiers will stay there and they will waste their time and not to happen. They should be more interested in other airports outside Igbo land. Because a typical Igbo man, I say this again, is not interested in this protest. Igbos know where their interests lie. They have expressed it, and today many of them will say, those other Nigerians who don't see their own viewpoint in politics and the election, they should go and enjoy their democracy.
All right.
Everybody is in need, and everybody will bear the brunt. The soldiers should just go and guide other airports and the free Igbo land because there's nothing going on there.
Okay, then finally, the APC is alleging that due to this protest that they will resist, they are vowing rather to resist every plan to topple President Tinubu's government. Now, addressing newsmen at the APC National Secretariat today in Abuja, the chairman of the APC State Chairman Forum, right, came out to say that in fact, this protest is about toppling President Tinubu's government. Security intelligence has showed that some hoodlums are planning to hijack the protest, and they will stand against every orchestration to oust President Tinubu through this protest. Would you say that this is actually what this protest is about? Because personally, I've not seen anyone saying Tinubu must go. What we are seeing is hashtag end bad governance, and there is hunger in the land.
There is also the Tinubu must go as one of their demands. That's why I'm telling you that some of those demands are preposterous and very, very unreasonable. Why are you talking about the hashtag Tinubu must go? Did Tinubu come by protest? Didn't people vote for him? Didn't the court affirm him? So anybody who is saying Tinubu must go, if you want Tinubu to go and talk to your National Assembly to impeach him. That is as provided in the Constitution. Anything short of that is illegality, and I am not part of it. If you know that Tinubu is not doing well, Meanwhile, they waited for the whole 8 years of Buhari that killed this economy, and then nobody want to see what Tinubu is trying to do. So some of those narratives are very annoying when you hear people say those. And those who are saying that they know those who want to topple Tinubu, if they know them, they should go and arrest them now. Are they telling me of what effect would you have, of what value is such information to a layman? Go and tell the security agencies who the plotters are, and then they should be arrested. I mean, that is the job of intelligence and that is the job of security. So it's not for the market woman to begin to say, oh, it is this or that. No, those who should know and who know should inform those who are concerned to go and do their job and do the needful, and then make sure that there is peace in the land. Yes, protest, no problem with it, but it must be civil, peaceful, and organized. Otherwise, it becomes riot. There's a difference between protest and riot. Riot is not allowed in any part of the world. Protest is allowed if it is civil and organized. But the way they are going about it is as if by blocking road, burning tires, and that is riot. And then no government will tolerate any form of riot in our environment. I also do not endorse riot, but I endorse peaceful protest.
All right then. Thank you so much, Barrister Fred Nzako, for joining me on the World News at 6 this evening. I really appreciate your presence and your input, and I hope you have a good evening. Thank you.
Many thanks. Many thanks.
You have been listening to the news at 6 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM, and that was the news analysis segment with legal luminary Barrister Fred Nzako. It behoves on the Nigerian government to make sure that the country does not suffer from hunger and that they do everything possible and put policies in place for the people to be happy, and this protest will not have to take place. Well, that's it on the news at 6. Just before we wrap up, let's take a look at the top stories again. You heard that President Tinubu has directed an NPC to sell crude to Dangote refinery in Naira. NCC orders immediate reactivation of all blocked lines. APC vows to resist plans to topple Tinubu's government. And soldiers take over Enugu Airport ahead of hunger protest. And that is a wrap on the news at 6. My name is Chioma Innocent. Please follow our social media handles at POP903 FM. Good evening and thank you for listening.
Muhammad Nadir Baban Doki muna wannan abin ne mun gaji da abin da yake faruwa mai ya ƙara kuɗi ba a yi magana akan ƙara kuɗin mai ba an ce kan mu yi zanga-zanga jiya wasu sun fito sun yi zanga-zanga ba wanda ya musu magana sai mu mun fito yau an ce ba za mu yi ba amma za mu haƙura mu muna bin doka ba faɗa muka zo yi ba mun zo zanga-zanga na lumana saboda haka an ce mu bari sheran alamis gaban da ya same mu ya ce sheran alamis mu za mu haƙura ran alamis za mu zo wani abin da ya kamata mu